Maggie Rogers' musical soundscape is infectious. I've probably listened to her breakout song, Alaska, over 100 times, and even still, I can't help but dance every time it comes on. She somehow combines the experience of hiking in the hills with the electricity of dancing in a club. Rogers has quickly built a loyal following, and rightfully so. Her songs are unique and well-crafted. And because her new album is coming out in 2 weeks, today I'm going to focus on a couple of her songs in order to understand how her soundscape and lyrical imagery mesh to create a sound and feel that I can only describe as electronic nature. The naturally sampled soundscape of many of Maggie Rogers' songs is really the foundation for this organic electronic sound, a fact which Rogers touches upon in many interviews. In Relevant magazine, Rogers admits that while the natural world does influence her work, she's also lived in New York City for the last 5 years, and it's something that she really loves, so she thinks it's both. She blends her nostalgia for sounds she might have heard growing up in rural Maryland with the fast-paced bustle of New York City life in order to create backdrops for a song like Dog Years.
I count my time in dog years. Oh, and I'm the one that loves you.
The soft coo of what sounds like an owl perfectly accents the underlying shuffle of clinking glass and kabasa or a beaded shaker. All this gives rise to a layered playfulness that sounds light and airy, yet firmly rooted in place. As the song progresses, we hear the electronic dance influence of artists like Robin seep into the soundscape.
Come what may, I'll still stay inside your mind for all of time.
The presence of the organic sounds still remain, such as the drill of a woodpecker set way back in the mix. Yet now the thump of a bass drum and driving synths carry the weight of the song. It feels as if Rogers transports you from the woods to the dance floor so quickly that there's still mud on your boots. And she intermingles a nature sample with an electronic one once again in her hit song Alaska.
But I also included a lot of natural samples. So the main rhythmic loop in Alaska is me just patting on my jeans.
Her natural sounds bring life and place to a sometimes dehumanized pop genre.
My goal in making this music was to make pop music that felt as human as possible.
And these samples carry a rootedness to them because Rogers gathered them over many years of hiking in the natural world. When these snippets of her environment are then combined with the grumble and thump of a synth, Rogers delivers an undeniable organic tangibility and rhythm to her songs that you can both hike and dance to. The beats and organicness of Rogers' songs only go so far to create this electronic nature feel. It's when she incorporates her lyrical imagery that her style really shines through. And for Rogers, writing and lyrics come first.
I worked in journalism for a while, and I love to write, and I think about lyrics before I think about anything else.
For most of her EP, she approached her writing in the same way she did her previous folk albums, but produced it with a different feel in mind. The result is epitomized in Alaska, a lyrically intriguing exploration of Rogers' time in Alaska training to be an outdoor guide.
I was walking through icy streams that took my breath away, moving slowly through westward water over glacial plain.
Rogers doesn't start the song with an emotion or a thought. Instead, she pulls you strongly into a specific place outdoors. Waking up early on Alaskan glacial plains, trudging through icy streams, and standing awestruck by the expansive landscape. The emotional urgency of the song, one about working through anxiety over her future and past by hiking through the Alaskan wilderness, is thus immediately grounded in nature. Even in her newer releases, Rogers continues to employ scenes steeped in references to nature. In her song Falling Water, she embodies the flow of water in order to express the struggles she's dealt with in her rapid transition to fame. With this poetic natural imagery often found in folk music, Rogers once again layers the organic on top of the electronic, ultimately adding greater depth to her music. By melding electronic and organic samples underneath nature-oriented lyrical imagery, Rogers has created a unique form of pop, one that is very human, but at the same time makes you want to dance around in the woods. As Maggie Rogers continues to put out hits, she shows us that the natural world has so much to offer in music, even if it's just the coo of a mourning dove that accentuates the electronic thump of a pop song. If you haven't already, I'd highly recommend checking out Maggie Rogers wherever you listen to your music. Also, if you like this video, there are 3 things you can do to help me out. Subscribe to the channel, share this video around on social media and Reddit, and support this channel financially on Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in 2 weeks.